My lads, ladies and gentlemen, and anybody else to whom these titles do not apply, who are not sure, good afternoon. There comes a time in every wedding ceremony that some chap that most of you don't know, have never met before, and will forget by the time you even had your next drink, gets to stand up and... Oh, shut up. Oh, the bloody hell's left MSN on. Bejeebus, you just can't get anything done these days. Anyway, gets to stand up and say a few words about the bride and groom and the ceremony we all just witnessed. And, much to Richard and Charlie's misfortune, they chose me as their best man. Well, more fool them, that's all I can say. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes, I remember. Somewhere down here. I remember. This is the third time I've been best man. Well, because I'm so popular. And well, both those marriages are still going strong. So I must insist that these two here, newlyweds, just keep my record straight. Because if they don't, I'll kick them to death. And then it won't last anyway, will it? Anyway, I'm honoured to be here, although I must confess a little nervous, as one generally is at a time like this. A few words of encouragement or jeers will help keep you going at the appropriate moment. Well, I don't mean literally going, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to finish the rest of the bloody speech, would I? I mean, it'll keep me going emotionally, and it'll keep my... Oh, bloody hell, now what's going on? I'm going to have to close this thing down. It's driving me crazy. Just a minute. If I click that on there, and then I do this, it should... what am I doing? I don't know. What the hell does he want? Just excuse me a minute. Lol D. Okay, lol D. Bye. Yes, goodbye. Right. I've known Richard for around 15 years now. More fool me. Ever since we both had the misfortune to be civil servants together. I've known Charlie for a little less time, which is luckier for her, less so for me. I remember Richard telling me that it was love at first sight when he met Charlie. I remember that very well. This may have been because she was bending over a pool table playing a particularly awkward shot at the time. Not that I would accuse Richard of being in any way tempted by that. But from his angle, it must have been very, very interesting, if you know what I'm saying. But I prefer to think that their eyes met across a sort of a crowded room, and neither one ever looked back. I must confess, prior to discovering the facts, that when Richard said he had a new partner and they were called Charlie, I did wonder if my impressions of him had been a little incorrect. But I was pleased to discover that on meeting the person in question, they were indeed of the female species, as I would always believe was Richard's inclination. However, the bloody computer keyboard's not working, that's what's however, because I don't like these auto cues, that crap! Anyway, as I was saying, I was pleased to discover, I've said that bit, oh bloody, I can't get this right. One can never tell these days, but one does like to know before making an utter fool of themselves and shoving one's foot down one's mouth as far as it'll go. Which I've got to confess, I'm pretty good at doing. I do confess to that. If I could open my mouth and get something wrong, I bloody well will, I tell you. Anyway, let's carry on, shall we? Yes, perhaps not. Well, I will, so hard luck. Since then, Richard and Charlotte, to give her a full name, my wife and I have had some very good times together. Most of them involving a bottle of wine and laughter, but there you go. Richard and I produced many videos together, always trying to make each other look more stupid than the last time, and we frequently succeed. In fact, I'm probably succeeding at this very minute with making myself look bloody ridiculous, but I've got to press on and try anyway. Richard and Charlie have literally, for goodness sake, Richard and Charlie have had literally thousands of best wishes and congratulations from the YouTube community. That's you lot. Hey, listening, you're the YouTube community. Online, where Richard currently has a huge following. Well, he told me to put that bit in. He might not have a following anymore, I don't know, because he doesn't make videos anymore, does he? Because he's not been very well. He's been getting married, so he's been kind of busy. But he'll be back soon, I promise. Anyway, we're getting distracted. Eager to watch his next video. That's the one. Eager to watch his next video. Well, I think they are. Pretty boring. I don't know. I haven't seen one for ages. Anyway, we've also been on TV together. And for around 3 weeks on Deal or No Deal. Richard still gets recognised from that show even now. Which actually brings me to an interesting point, because I have a small confession to make. There can't be many best men who will, during the speech, admit to having slept with both the bride and the groom at the same time. In fact, 5 or 6 times actually. Lucky me. But it's all a bit blurred now. I appreciate this will come as a shock to most of you. Well, not to most of you, but to quite a few of you at any rate. What we're talking about, we are talking about a man at the age of 40 who was cradle snatched a mere baby lambs at 25. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Willis, as they are now, as they should be known now, should I say, they do indeed have to work on this age gap. Because I mean, he's an old man and she's just a mere spring chicken, so he'll be a bit of tough meat, you know, Charlie. You'll have to watch him. So I suppose we shouldn't be too shocked anyway, should we, really? Whatever they got up, whatever we got up to, whatever they got up to, whatever we got up to, whatever somebody got up to. I don't bloody well care who got up to what. Anyway, I should perhaps say that we all shared a hotel room whilst Deal or No Deal was being filmed. With more than one, that's 4. 2, that looks rude. Two huge double beds in them. And when I say slept, I mean I slept. Richard and Charlie were kept awake most nights by some inconsiderate sleeping in the bed next to them, snoring his head off. Some people have no consideration. I was also a little bit surprised that Richard and Charlie chose today, the 4th of July, as their wedding day, because as our American cousin, do you like that? It goes across screen, then goes off again, back onto screen, and then down out of sight. It's good, isn't it? I was a little surprised that Richard and Charlie chose today, the 4th of July, as their wedding day. After all, most people would not associate the American Declaration of Independence, as in the USA, as being the same as tying the knot with your partner. I know, however, that Richard and Charlie are both very independent-minded and quite capable of annoying the hell out of each other, in the nicest possible way. So perhaps they won't be independent. Anyway, no more scandal. You'll be very pleased to know that there's not much more speech to go. Not as pleased as I can tell you. I'll be bloody glad when it's finished, because no bugger's laughing, you know. It's because it's so flaming crap. Anyway, I would like at this stage to thank Georgina for being bridesmaid. She may be losing her sister, but I've a feeling she'll be gaining so much more. Knowing how much my own daughters loved to hate each other when they were together, she's probably very happy that Charlie has gone to pastures new. Please raise your glasses to Georgina. I hope you're suitably embarrassed now. Good. I would also like to thank Kate for being bridesmaid too. I'm amazed that being closely involved with Richard for so long, you still managed to remain sane. So let's have another toast to her as well. Why not? There's a pair of toasts. A pair of toasties. Okay. As I'm sure you already know, a combination has meant that the original venue for this wedding had to be changed. This is the boring bit. Had to be changed. And I would like to say, on all our behalves, particularly Richard and Charlie's, how gratefully impressed we are with the service we've received from the Bell Hotel. The service, food and management have been second to none, and many guests who stayed overnight last night and will be staying tonight have all been made to feel more than welcome. Thank you very much for your efforts, hotel and bar and kitchen and hotel staff and the owners and anybody else that I've missed. I'd also like to thank you very, very much for opening up your own private gardens, not at the hotel, but at your own home, which there's some lovely photographs I've got in it. So they might have some additional photographs taken. Finally, I would like to wish Charlie and Richard a very long and happy marriage. They deserve each other and all the happiness that well, I can't read this, it's not going again. And all the happiness that they will share together. I'm honoured to know them, and I'm very honoured to be their best man. And I ask you all to raise your glasses to Richard and Charlotte. Thank you. Here we are, raising my glass. Well, actually it's a mug of tea, because this is not actually the day, because this is after the event has already happened. And it was a bloody good success, I can tell you. I think Tall Steve-O, he's another YouTuber, he's put up a couple of little videos about it, and I dare say there'll be a few more going up soon. So keep your eyes open. I've had a bloody drink yet, my toast. A grand cup of tea. You can't beat a cup of tea. Anyway, I suppose that's about it for now. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me rambling, as I'm often capable of doing. So I guess I should shut up now, and I'll see if I can get this thing uploaded to cyberspace. They've had a piece of wedding cake, and that was nice too. Bye. See, my hand came back that way. This way. Oh, I don't care. Bye.